Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today, Thursday morning, Movember 4th, 2021. The man they call Meathead and the always breathing Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew. You like what I did there? You started huffing while I was talking? There you go.
I mean, that's kind of like cause and effect. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody who can be on the other end of this call with the man they call Meathead without a little heavy breathing going on.
A little heavy breathing, a little heavy petting, a little heavy excitement.
I don't know about the petting part, but I mean, the breathing I'll give you.
Matthew, can you tell us about our sponsor? And then I want to talk about somebody that's helping us help them out as well. So you go first.
Oh, you mean the Collar and Elbow brand. And
yes,
you know what I need to see, man? I'm in a conundrum now because I am very close to a Hawaii trip, and I wish I had my Collar and Elbow Hawaii shirt that I have failed to order. And so I'm tempted to do maybe a little last-minute order and some rush shipping, or to see how well they work when they go outside of the continental United States. Maybe I'll get a little Collar and Elbow care package waiting for me at my hotel out there. So, see which direction we go. But there's a couple different scenarios this can play out. But if you want the Collar and Elbow Hawaii shirt, or the new smothered, covered, and brothered shirt, or you got to think there's going to be some holiday shirts coming out here very, very soon. Head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com, enter promo code LindaK, save yourself 10%, and that's money that you can put towards expedited shipping if you need to get it in a quick hurry.
There you go. Hey, you know what I want to talk about in a quick hurry is it's Movember 4th. And again, I don't say November, I say Movember. Folks, on my socials and on the PWR today, and check out the PWR socials as well, I'm asking for help. Our friends at Movember are raising awareness for mental health and for, prostate cancer research. I mean, that's what Movember is. It's what happens is us guys, Matthew, I don't know if you're doing it this year. I know it's been a long time since you grew facial hair, but I am growing a mustache. I'm at day 4 now. So I've got a nice little Flanders coming in, but it is time to get that mustache going. I think I'm year 16 or 17. I don't remember what year I am, to be honest with you. I've been doing this a long time, since way back in the Pro Wrestling Report days. I showed up one time. Go back and look in the archives where I had that nice, sweet Hulk Hogan look going on. So head on over there. Please, if you can, help us out at Movember.com. Like I said, the link to donate to my page is on all of our socials. Matthew, are you trying to grow something this year, or are you just going to try next year? Start now and hopefully have it by next year.
You know what I'm doing? I'm trying to grow one really long sideburn.
One really long sideburn.
That's the thing. Everybody with their sideburns, they want to be all symmetrical and whatnot. It's like,
there's people that do the wraparounds where they grow it from one side and then hook it up to something else, or do like snake tails. Or rat tails.
Yeah, no, I've seen this. I think we're just going one just really long sideburn is going to do the trick. And I would say if you're at Flanders right now, by the time that we reconvene early part of next week, you're probably going to be up to like a John Waters look.
Possibly Mississippi Waters. You never know. Hey, we talk about the mental health part of what Movember does, and I want to use that to segue into really the only story that we should be talking about right now. I mentioned it on Monday morning's program, the toxic masculinity that we have. I'm very guilty of it as well. I'm an alpha male, and I think I'm the man, and I think I'm tough, and I think I can get through anything. Jon Moxley is stepping away from wrestling for a little bit because he's going into rehab, and he will enter a rehab. And I honestly feel that he's going into an inpatient alcohol treatment program. I honestly feel that the conversation went something like this with himself, Renee, and members of his family. Look, for the betterment of you, us, and everyone here, you should probably take a break. And he probably said, you know what, it's time for me to take a break. He's been running on a hamster wheel forever. And I'm so glad and I'm so proud that he was able to say, you know what, it's time. I got to take care of my mental health as well. We've heard this happening in the NFL a few times. Calvin Ridley this last weekend stepped away from football because he needs to take care of his mental health. There's issues with a couple other receivers out there as well that have not played for a couple weeks because they're having issues with mental health. We understand it. And there's nothing wrong with saying you need help. Matter of fact, it's stronger to ask for help than it is to just kind of struggle in silence. So, Matthew, thoughts on Jon Moxley?
Absolutely. And I think that it says a lot for him to announce and acknowledge exactly why he's taking time away. Because, the other option of this could have been just Moxley's off TV and we don't know exactly why. But the simple act of saying, this is what I'm going in for, and the simple act of AEW opening the show like they did last night, having Punk come out, I think that I think that in and of itself, of course, we want whatever he has to do to get the proper treatment that he needs, by all means, that's top priority. At the same time, by saying exactly what is going on here, you are taking away some stigma. You are making it much more something that is on the conversational level, and
Socially
it is
acceptable.
not. Yes, and it's not something that you're having to, go away for and just kind of speculate what's going on here. And I think that act right there, in a lot of ways, outside of what he's doing for him and his family, is the most effective, because it broke Tuesday night, and he's entering inpatient alcohol rehabilitation, and AEW addressed it as such. And that was and it was not just the byline. That's what opened the show. That's what Punk talked about. You saw the signs in the audience. So you look at this, he's taking care of himself, but at the same time, the way this is being handled through him and also through the company, I think is a very, very effective and hopefully productive way that they've handled it to destigmatize it. And hopefully, if there's anybody else who's struggling or on the verge, or is maybe hesitant to ask for the help they need, I think that they made a large leap forward by handling it the exact way they did.
Let's just say this, and I'm going to be delicate when I say this, but not delicate at the same time. Let's hope that there's others who maybe it's been evident publicly or not evident that might be going through the same thing, that have been struggling with it since, say, day one-ish, that maybe they seek out this help as well.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to say.
100%. 100%.
That's all we ask, man, before something happens. Look at the wide receiver. I think it was Henry Ruggs, the fourth.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
What was he doing? 150 before that because he was drinking? Yeah. Now, that might not be a dependency problem. That might just be a stupid, I'm young and made a mistake problem. But still, got to have your head on straight, man. I'm telling you, from somebody, me personally, who I went through, the little bit that I'm doing. I'm having, I had shoulder replacement, and I have these pain pills sitting here. You and I have talked off air, and I particularly don't want to do them because I don't want to take a chance on doing any of that stuff. I use it when necessary, and I use my common sense.
Sure.
So, all right, let's move on from that. I was going to try to tie them all together in a perfect symmetrical line, but it's not going to work. I want to talk about Great Lakes Championship Wrestling real quick before we get to Dynamite. The news story was Moxley, so I wanted to lead with that and take that off of Movember. Matthew, since we've talked, more matches have been added, none bigger than the OVW National Heavyweight title on the line at Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. Everybody knows the champion is Mr. Pectacular, Jesse Goddard. What most people don't know, and may be shocked to see, his challenger, former PWR senior intern Cal Hero, a man that's been on this very program that we have known since birth, since the day the kid came out, is getting a national heavyweight championship match at Blizzard Brawl this year. Cal Hero. And
my goodness, this is an away game for Jesse Goddard. You talk about an away.
Al Snow will be in the house, the proprietor of OVW.
You talk about an away game for your OVW champion. If there's any better place for Goddard to lose that belt, it's in the house that Hero built.
That's a point. David Zohan, I hope you heard that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You know what? Think about all of the hoopla that's going to surround that. If that OVW belt takes place outside of the OVW arena, it takes place in the road. And I don't know. There's a lot of friends of. There's a lot of Cal pals. There's going to be a lot of Cal pals in attendance. And you know what? I don't know. I think if there's if there's gonna be any interference, or there's gonna be anybody with a little bit of motivation to interfere in that match, I might have to figure out a way to make sure that title changes hands.
Wow. Well, like I said, Al will be in the house, so I got to assume Al will be out there as the official of OVW for this title match. I cannot believe that the title will be defended outside of OVW country. If there's a chance for it to be dropped anywhere, it's here. Cal, wow, I am excited. This is just one of many matches, obviously, on the BlizzardBrawl.com website that have been announced for Blizzard Brawl. I know the first rows are sold out. The second rows only have a couple seats left. You guys got to get your tickets. I know this is a Waukesha, Wisconsin, just west of Milwaukee show, but this is the biggest independent show in the entire Midwest for the year. So find a way to get here. Matthew Thomas can make it by plane. You can make it by train. You can make it by automobile. Make sure that you're at Blizzard Brawl this year.
Wait a minute. Did you say they're selling roses?
No, I never said they're selling roses.
Yeah, you said the first rose is sold out.
Rose.
Oh, yeah, rose.
Yeah, right. I compared you to a kiss from a rose on a grave if you keep it up.
Or are you talking about the thing you row a boat with? One of those rows.
Moving on. Let's talk AEW. Now, with Moxley not being available for the match last night, that left open the semifinals between Orange Cassidy and Moxley for the number one contendership against Bryan Danielson at Full Gear. I asked myself before, I said, no, but seriously, who do they put in into this match? Lots of contenders. You could put in a CM Punk who, alluded to he wanted to be in that. You could put in, a bunch of other people. You could put in who else is, undefeated. You could put in an MJF, but MJF's got a program with Darby Allin. But, really, if this was a legitimate sport, all these people would have, a reason. They made the best decision by putting in the number 3 contender, because the number 1 contender has his match at Full Gear. And the number 3 is already going to be wrestling the number 2 in the match. It made the most logical sense.
And that's where these rankings really come in handy. I mean, you've got a very concrete thesis statement there. And I like the fact that, you're looking at this Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. You had a very physical person that, Orange Cassidy was the underdog. And looking at this step further, had Danielson gone on to face Moxley, you're talking about a very, very physical match. So, look at your rankings, but you also wanted something that was going to match up similar to what you had planned with Moxley. And I think Miro, in this case, worked because it was going to be a similar match that you could have with Cassidy. And I think it's going to be another very, very physical match that you can have with Danielson. So, really good call here.
And actually, with Moxley and Danielson, I think it was a 50-50 split. With Miro and Danielson, you have to look at this not from the what are they going to do, but from the just pure suspending disbelief. That puts Danielson, I think, at a disadvantage, and it makes him the underdog, which makes him more of a favorite to win.
No, 100%. And I mean, you're able to get a lot of that, of kind of that the traditional Danielson crowd response like you've gotten, in years past with the WWE.
And Jon Moxley will have a spot in the company. The second he's ready to come back, there will be something for him to do. There's no doubt about that.
And I'll tell you what, if you had a Jon Moxley heel run in your future, you can probably forget about that for a while.
No, that's not going to happen, because when he comes back, he'll be face for months on end. All right, so opening match was actually Kenny Omega, the world champion, taking on Alan Angels, number 5 of the Dark Order. And I love that they alluded back to a match, even though, it's kind of a stretch. But they alluded back to a match where Alan Angels damn near beat Omega, as the champion before. So, it gives some validity to why he gets this match again. And I liked how this match ended. It didn't end with the one-winged angel. It ended with 3 V-triggers to get the pinfall.
Yeah. And it further reaffirms the effect and how special it feels when you don't have your champion wrestling every week on TV. It made me realize how little they have Omega, their champion, wrestling singles matches. And you compare that to what you currently have with Big E, to what you currently have with Becky. When you have this very thick roster where you have this mid card that is really developed.
It's robust.
My goodness, it makes it feel doggone special when your champion wrestles anybody on TV.
Right. Let me ask you this. Has Adam Page and Kenny Omega touched yet? Because even last night's interaction, they technically didn't touch, did they?
Oh, no, they're doing such a great job with that. And I mean,
how about that sign out in the crowd of a poop emoji what Cowboy had?
Yeah, I saw that. But I mean, we really got to talk about the build of Page is one of the best builds of anybody in the industry that I've seen in years. You go back to, not the inaugural AEW pay-per-view because they had a few before that, but the big one right before Dynamite premiered, where you had Jericho and Hangman. And I remember going into that and, liking the performance that Page put up, but just not really thinking he was ready and really thinking that it would be a risk if you started this company off with
this kid
with Hangman winning. You fast forward some 2 years down the road, over 2 years down the road, that crowd in almost any AEW arena that you go to, they are foaming at the mouth to have this guy win the title. Just such a great build of somebody over a 2 year period.
And let's talk about this. The fact that Adam Page, in his promo at the end, I was thinking this again. I want to hear him say how long his title reign is going to last. Go ahead and rest up, buddy. You got 10 days.
Yeah.
That's what gets the crowd foaming. 10 days
my goodness.
Till Adam is
And,
champion.
when he's on the mic, he says what he needs to. It's not overly, it's not a long drawn out promo, but it's so freaking effective. And I just, not to keep going back and forth between AEW, WWE comparisons, but when was the last time WWE had a champion in the position of Page where everybody was cumulatively that ready for that person's title? Maybe Daniel Bryan, maybe Daniel Bryan, winning the title at 30. But my goodness, you compare that to the WWE formula of, Reigns comes to mind.
With Benoit.
Yeah, but there's so many other ones where it's like you feel like it takes multiple title reigns for that person that WWE is trying to push for that to ever take. And right now, this is, I think, pretty much everybody would agree, this is Roman Reigns' greatest title run that he's had. And it's 5 or 6 years after he won his first title. So it is just, it's that, hey, hopefully it takes this time. Hopefully it takes this time approach of the WWE versus, this long, slow burn approach that they've done with Page, to where you have the fan base foaming at the mouth to what I think will be a very, very effective title run.
Let's talk about Punk's promo. Again, we touched it a little bit, but Matthew, CM Punk brewed in Wisconsin, by the way. That's what
I saw that. Where's that? Is that a coffee shop?
I have no idea. I wasn't going to ask you because I didn't think you would know, and you were going to ask me because you think I might know. I have no clue that.
Because you're in Wisconsin. You know what? That might be that coffee shop is attached to the Harry Houdini Museum.
It's not. the Harry Houdini Museum. Let me just side here for a second. I've been through the museum. It was a work-related thing where, for the quarter, the best whatever, and I went to it. It's cool. It's nice. I was good after about 10 minutes.
Is it a self-guided tour, or is there a tour guide?
There was something that guided us through it, and then we had a magic show after while we ate lunch.
Oh,
I volunteered my shoe. All right, but anyways, back to Punk. Punk said that, look, Punk seemed a little frazzled on the mic a couple times. And I'll be honest, a couple other friends that I have that watch the show long are also asking the same thing. Do we need to see Punk every week? And I responded back to him of, yes, we do. TNT wants him. It's ratings. But Punk seemed a little frazzled when the crowd was chanting full gear, full gear, full gear. They were chanting Moxley, Moxley, Moxley. It seemed a little odd. I know that he's going to go in St. Louis on Friday, and they're going to go face-to-face, Kingston and Punk, and see what happens there. But it wasn't his strongest promo, except for the Moxley stuff. At the end, it seemed a little off.
There was much more of Punk acknowledging what the crowd was yelling at.
Right.
It happened several times. There. It was a different side of Punk. I mean, we've had the happy, cheerful side of Punk since he's come back, and
I think that was love for Moxley, regardless if they like each other or don't like each other. Look, it's a brother that's struggling and has reached out for help. So I think that's love. That's what it is.
And you've got somebody that is cutting the promo that, him not wanting to go down that path, I mean, has really, in a lot of ways, dictated a lot of the decision makings in his adult life. CM Punk, that is, and I mean, I think that the whole drugs and alcohol sobriety discussion is a huge component of CM Punk's life. So I think that factored into it. Yeah, that factored into it as well too. But yeah, I mean, it definitely, but I think the fact that we have gotten that enthusiastic Punk that, gets the audience going. I think when you do shift gears to get a more aggressive, darker Punk, I think that, he's built up that equity with that fan base that it's going to be intriguing. And I think this Kingston feud is really the first taste of that little bit of a darker, more serious side in Punk that we're getting in AEW.
Okay. The second match was the AAA World Tag Team Championship match. It was FTR, now the AAA champions, because they were Los Frogos or something like that. They were the Green Frogs. But they're taking on Aerostar and Samurai del Sol. I think we have enough Del Sols or Souls in the company. Sol, obviously Spanish for son. By the way, do you know who Samurai del Sol is?
That is, I think, the brother of that other Del Sol guy, right?
Nope, but he is part of a Lucha House Party. That is our guy from WWE, recently released. I think it was in April he was released, but that is one half of the Lucha House Party debuting in AEW. Now, this is for the AAA World Tag Team Championships. FTR win and retain. The Inner Circle coming out to the ring are going to get to pick who they wrestle at Full Gear in the Minneapolis Street Fight. They're picking 3 people. Jericho starts to insult Dan Lambert as Dan Lambert comes out, but Lambert does most of the talking. You know what wasn't bad? Was Jericho in the Inner Circle kind of laid low and let Lambert just run with it. Your thoughts on the whole thing before we get to the picks?
Yeah, as fresh as AEW feels each week, this was one part of the show last night that feels a little bit too monotonous for me. I think we've got, me personally, I've gotten enough consecutive weeks, whether it be Dynamite, whether it be Rampage, of the Inner Circle and Top Team yelling at each other. It really, I was really
let's be clear though. Who's doing the yelling?
It's mainly Mr. Lambert.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing's starting to kind of run its course a little bit for me.
Well, the match will be happening in Full Gear next week, Saturday. The Inner Circle gets to pick the 3. So it looks like Hager picks Dos Santos, Santana picks Arlovsky, and then Jericho picks, as Dan Lambert called himself, the first member of American Top Team. Jericho picked Dan Lambert. He'll be in the 6-man tag in the street fight. The thing I want to point out is, in 2021, the Paige Van Zandt Jericho interaction where she says, "I'll take all 5 of you guys on." I mean, we all know where that's going. And Jericho for 2021 said, "So all 5 of us, huh?" That kind of stuff writes itself. Let's move on.
Yeah. And not quite the Jericho response you probably would have seen 20 years ago, but I
think 20 years ago, that would have been 3 more minutes.
Yeah. No, I think last night they did about all they could do with it.
Yeah, so the fact that it was acknowledged but not, really responded to, good enough for me. Excuse me. AEW TBS Championship Tournament. Anna Jay taking on Jamie Hayter with Britt Baker, DMD, and Rebel. Matthew, the winner of the match, Jamie Hayter, thoughts?
I think this is the way it should have gone. I really like what I've seen with Jamie, and I think she can go She's got a lot of potential. I was going to say she could go a lot further in this tournament, but she's coming up against Thunder Rosa in the next matchup. So I don't know that she advances there, but I mean, I think Jamie Hayter's one of the upper echelon of that women's division.
Yeah, and Thunder Rosa runs in at the end. You know, they'll break up the double team there. MJF, great promo and different camera angles this time, because what they did is they aimed the camera at MJF as if he were talking directly to Darby. Yeah. I loved the best part about this whole thing. I loved was the camera shot before the touching, right? Because the whole crowd kept the aisle clear. MJF's at the end, Darby's at the other end, and then they start going together. Goodness. And then Darby, as he starts to spread the C, tells him to back off. Does it one more time.
My goodness, great camera work. I mean, they follow Darby making his path. They follow Darby running the length of that aisle. And they had a great cut in the truck as soon as he crossed that rail, man. That was some top-of-the-line wrestling camera work.
We've never seen that before.
No.
In that particular version. That was absolutely fantastic. I mean, yeah, they had their talks back and forth, how, MJF said Darby's not really a wrestler. He's just a crash test dummy. And he says, you know what? I'll wrestle you at Full Gear, but tonight I'm going to beat you with, whatever. So
that's two firsts that we've seen this week. We saw that last night. And then on Monday, we saw the biggest exploding table, I think it was, when T-Bar went through that table.
Table exploded.
I've never seen anything like that before, man. That was insane. So we've seen some firsts this week.
Andrade El Idolo defeats Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. Now, earlier, Malachi Black had said that when Caesar was killed, it was more than just, I forgot who it was, that betrayed him. I thought there was more to this. I thought somebody would come down to help Cody, and then Arn would turn on him. But what we ended up having was FTR, who had purchased to help out with the end of the thing. Tully and Arn going face-to-face as well got me kind of, here to go. A couple old dudes going to get at it.
Couple things here. Probably the best Cody response from an audience that we've had in a while. Yep. Cody was not booed out of the building, which is, I'm personally glad to see. I don't know if that's the reaction that they want at this point, when they're kind of running the slow burn heel turn. But when was the last time you heard the Pinnacle?
I'm stop you there. I don't know necessarily that it's going to be a heel turn.
Yeah.
I honestly feel that he's going to be the good guy in the face of the bad guys, and everybody around him, he's going to end up turning on them because they become heel. I think he's going to hold out.
Whether they do anything with it or not, I think that AEW likes the fact that they've got somebody who's getting a John Cena 2006, 2007 reaction right now. And I think that is...
was that around the time where Cena yelled, "Should I be a heel"?
I don't know.
Because remember, there was that program where it's like, "Do you want me to be a heel?" Something like that.
See, I remember a program, and this is probably like 12 or 13, where he talked about a heel turn and literally turns his heel.
Yeah,
I do remember that promo. But we had the Pinnacle discussed. When was the last time you heard the Pinnacle reference outside of last night?
Not a lot, but that's because MGF's busy, and FTR are busy doing their own thing. So they don't have to be mentioned all the time. That's the best thing about AEW. We don't have to have it shoved in our face every week.
Oh, 100%. No,
hey, let me ask you, what does Budge mean? Who the hell is Budge? Is that Adam Cole's old wrestling name?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Adam Cole. I don't know where it originates at.
I don't know, but Johnny Hungy said he wants to wrestle Budge. It should be him versus Budge. Maybe Cole can officially change his name to Budge. Manager. You know what that might be a reference to? Adam Cole's alleged main roster call-up was to have his hair cut and be a manager.
Yeah, I don't know.
That might be it. They might have been considering calling him Budge.
I don't know, but wouldn't that be great? He just changes his name to Budge now, then you have to redo the whole song.
You know what's all about the Budge? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it could be done. It could be done. The main events, Bryan Danielson on commentary, the Eliminator Tournament semifinal, Miro and Orange Cassidy. I didn't think Orange Cassidy, unfortunately, had a chance in this one. Miro, your winner. Danielson comes down, tries to shake the hand, and no dice. And again, Dynamites, until they leave TNT and go to TBS, we'll be going top of the hour. They have to go because hockey's ready to go.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean, it makes your viewing appointment a little bit more regular. They're going off at a hard finish there.
Yeah, real quick, there was talk that Rampage was also going to move to TBS. That may be moving to TNT on Friday nights.
Interesting. I imagine it'll land somewhere in the Turner Network. Maybe Turner Classic Movies, or who knows where.
True TV. Let's put it on with True TV with
Hey
Tacoma
man,
FD and
True
Adam Runes
TV's got
everything.
some good content, Dave.
Put it on with Adam Runes everything and Tacoma FD.
Hey, sign me up.
Perfect. Hey, Matthew, that's the end of the program. Tomorrow morning, Friday morning, we'll get you ready for Rampage. We'll get you ready for SmackDown. Maybe Roman Reigns will show up, and we'll talk about any new developments from Dave Hero and Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. The house that Hero built, we're going to have to tell him about that one. So
I like it, man. I might have to trademark that thing.
You better hurry up. For Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.